Have you ever found yourself in a connection that felt electric at first, but then, without warning, the other person started to pull away? They were charming, present, maybe even deeply into you, and then cold, distant, unreachable. If you've been left wondering, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Why did they lose interest so fast? You're not alone. Hi, I'm Jim Rohn, and today we're diving into one of the most confusing psychological dynamics in modern relationships. Why someone with an avoidant attachment style seems so invested one moment and then disappears the next. This isn't just about dating games or mixed signals. What you're experiencing taps into deep-rooted emotional patterns, ones that can leave you feeling anxious, rejected, and even questioning your worth. But here's the truth most people don't know. Avoidants don't lose interest because you did something wrong. They pull away because intimacy feels threatening, even when they deeply care. And understanding that changes everything. In this video, we're going to break it all down. The hidden fears, the turning points, the emotional shutdowns that happen beneath the surface. And more importantly, I'll show you how to stop personalizing their distance so you can reclaim your peace and stop chasing the unavailable. If that sounds like the clarity you've been needing, make sure you stick around till the end. This might just shift the way you see love forever. And hey, if you find this kind of deep, honest insight helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because here, we don't just talk about relationships, we unpack the psychology behind them, so you can finally stop repeating old patterns and start healing for real. Let's get into it. At the start of a relationship, someone with an avoidant nature might come across as completely enchanted. They soak up your company, buzzing with excitement, and everything feels light and carefree, almost like a perfect little bubble. It's a sweet spot where they're comfortable and the connection hasn't yet crossed into risky emotional territory. But the moment things inch toward deeper intimacy, the mood shifts. It's not that they suddenly decide to pull away on purpose. It's more like an instinct kicking in. Deep down, their mind has wired closeness to mean trouble, a kind of silent alarm that whispers, "Hold on, this is getting real," and real feels threatening. It's not a choice they actively make. They don't wake up one day plotting, "Hey, I really like this person, so let's mess it all up." Far from it. It's more like their brain flips a switch without them even noticing. Emotional closeness registers as a loss of control, a crack in their armor that could leave them exposed. To them, vulnerability isn't just uncomfortable, it's a danger zone they've spent years steering clear of. Their nervous system has been trained to see love as a tightrope walk, thrilling at first, but terrifying once the safety net disappears. So, they retreat, not because they don't care, but because caring too much feels like handing over the reins to something unpredictable. Picture it like a reflex, automatic and lightning fast. One minute they're all in, laughing and sharing late-night talks. The next, they're distant, dodging anything that digs too deep. It's not about you. It's about a lifetime of dodging emotional traps. They might not even realize how smoothly they slip into this pattern, but it's there, etched into their core. For them, keeping things surface level isn't just easier, it's survival. And while it might leave you puzzled or hurt, it's their way of wrestling with a fear they can't quite shake. That letting someone in fully could unravel everything they've worked so hard to hold together. So, what's really going on? Their body and mind start to shut down in subtle ways. Suddenly they might feel less appealing, less excited, or less emotionally engaged. But here's the twist. It's not about losing interest. It's their defense system kicking in. At first glance, it might seem like they've grown bored or stopped caring about you. In reality, though, they're pulling back because the emotional closeness in your relationship is overwhelming them. They're not running away out of dislike. They're retreating because intimacy feels like too much to handle. Now let's dive into the vibe behind this avoidant attachment style. It's not just about what they do, it's about the emotional frequency they live on. People with this pattern give off a distant, guarded energy. Deep down, they might crave connection and even dream of love, but their subconscious is screaming something different. Step back. This feels risky. I need to stay in control to feel safe, and right now, I'm anything but. It's like an invisible wall goes up, not because they don't want you, but because letting you in threatens their sense of security. This push and pull can be confusing. One minute they're warm and present, the next they're cold and unreachable. The truth is, their actions aren't always about you. They're about them wrestling with their own fears. They might adore the idea of closeness, but when it gets real, their instincts hit the brakes. That emotional tug-of-war isn't random. It's a pattern tied to how they've learned to protect themselves. Maybe past experiences taught them that vulnerability leads to pain, so now they keep love at arm's length, even when it's right in front of them. Understanding this doesn't fix it, but it shines a light on why they act the way they do, and why it's less about you and more about their inner world. At the start, they're all in. They show up, they're engaged, they genuinely enjoy your company and the bond you share. But the moment they sense they're getting too emotionally exposed, everything flips. Their internal alarm goes off and they slam on the brakes. The worst part? The harder you try to pull them back in, the more they feel the urge to bolt. It's a losing battle because now they're not just overwhelmed by the closeness, they're also drowning in pressure to reconnect, to explain themselves, to offer something they don't even know how to give. If you lean toward an anxious attachment style, this dynamic stings even more. While they're busy retreating, your instincts might kick into overdrive, wanting to fix it, to bridge the gap, to understand what's wrong, to get closer. But to them, your efforts don't feel like love. They feel like a trap, tightening around them. And just like that, you're stuck in this exhausting back and forth. They push away, you pull harder. It's the classic dance between someone avoidant and someone anxious. A tug-of-war that leaves both sides drained. This isn't random chaos, though. It's a pattern carved deep into their subconscious. Their need to retreat comes from old emotional wiring, maybe from times when letting someone in didn't end well. For you, the urge to chase might stem from a fear of losing what matters. Together, it's a perfect storm. Their walls go up, your heart races to tear them down. Neither of you wants the mess, but you're both caught in it, acting out scripts you didn't write. It's frustrating as hell, but once you see it for what it is, a clash of hidden fears and habits, you can at least start to make sense of the madness. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about how your emotional worlds collide. So why do avoidant people act this way? Where does this behavior even come from? For most of them, it traces back to childhood, a time when their emotional needs were left hanging. Maybe their parents were distant, rarely offering warmth or comfort. Maybe they were pushed to fend for themselves way too young, or perhaps they picked up the harsh lesson that showing vulnerability got them nowhere. Or worse, got them hurt. Over the years, their brain wired itself for survival. Rely on yourself. That's the safe bet. Fast forward to adulthood, and when a relationship starts getting real, when it demands closeness, those old childhood defenses come roaring back to life. It's like their mind flips a switch. Get too close and you'll get burned, it warns. Let someone in and you'll lose your freedom. Instead of wrestling with those fears head on, their brain pulls a slick move. It convinces them the spark's just gone. I'm not into this anymore, they tell themselves, because that's a hell of a lot easier than facing the truth, digging into the messy stuff. Admitting they're scared of being hurt or losing control feels risky, even dangerous. So they dodge it altogether, masking their retreat as boredom or a change of heart. What's wild is how automatic this all is. They're not sitting there plotting to push you away. It's more like an instinct they can't shake. Picture it. The second a relationship crosses into deep territory, their inner alarm blares and they're halfway out the door before they even realize it. It's not that they don't care. They might even want the connection, but their past taught them to keep the walls up. Admitting that takes guts they haven't built yet, so they lean on the excuse that's worked before. I'm just not feeling it. It's a shield, not the full story, and it keeps them safe, at least until the next time love knocks. If you keep finding yourself stuck in this loop, constantly pulling in avoidant people and riding this emotional roller coaster, how do you break free? The answer isn't chasing them down or begging them to come back. It's about flipping the script and shifting your own energy toward a secure attachment vibe. Here's how that plays out in real life, step by step, and why it's a game changer. First, it starts with you getting a grip on yourself, literally. When an avoidant person starts pulling away, your gut might scream, panic, text them, figure out what's wrong, but hold up. Instead of spiraling, hit pause. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your racing heart settle. This isn't just some feel-good trick. It's about rewiring your nervous system. The calmer you stay, the more grounded you feel, and the less you feed into that anxious, avoidant tug-of-war. You're not just reacting anymore, you're choosing how to show up. That alone starts cracking the cycle wide open. Next, dig a little deeper into your own head. Why do these avoidant types keep popping up in your life? It's not random. Somewhere under the surface, your subconscious might be drawn to their emotional distance because it feels like home. Maybe it echoes something from your past, like a parent who was hard to reach, or a love that always felt just out of grasp. Take a beat to think about it. What's the story you've been telling yourself about love? If it's, I've got to fight tooth and nail for it, that's a clue. The real shift happens when you start rewriting that script. Swap out the old belief for something fresh. I'm safe in love. I deserve it. I attract people who show up for me. Say it out loud if you have to. Let it sink in. This isn't about magically fixing the avoidant person or forcing them to change. It's about you stepping into a new energy, one that doesn't thrive on chaos or desperation. The more you lean into that secure, steady vibe, the less you'll tolerate the push-pull nonsense. You'll start noticing who's worth your time and who's just replaying an old, tired game. It's not easy at first. Old habits die hard. But every time you choose calm over chase, you're building something stronger. You're not just escaping the pattern. You're rewriting your whole damn love story. And the best part? You don't need their permission to start. In the end, it's all about radiating that secure energy. People who are secure don't chase after anyone, and they don't bolt at the first sign of trouble either. They're upfront, they say what they mean without playing games or trying to steer every little thing. They let the relationship breathe, flowing naturally instead of forcing it into some perfect box. When you start moving through life with that kind of vibe, making choices from a place of calm confidence instead of fear or frenzy, something shifts. People notice. The way they respond to you starts to change, almost like a mirror reflecting your new energy back. You're not begging for connection or dodging it. You're just standing solid, and that pulls in a different kind of vibe. Less chaos, more real. It's magnetic in its own quiet way, and the best part is you're not waiting on anyone else to make it happen. It's all you. To wrap things up, this journey through the avoidant anxious dance is really about understanding the why behind the push and pull and how to step out of it. Avoidant folks retreat not because they don't care, but because closeness stirs up old fears, rooted in childhood lessons of self-reliance and guarded hearts. Meanwhile, if you're the anxious type, your instinct to chase can amplify the chaos, locking you both in a cycle that's exhausting but not impossible to break. The key? Shift your energy. Stop running after them. Calm your nerves and rewrite the story you tell yourself about love. Move toward a secure vibe that doesn't thrive on drama. When you do, you'll notice the people around you start to respond differently, drawn to your steady, authentic presence. It's not about fixing anyone else, it's about owning your power to change the game. Thank you so much for watching this video and sticking with me through this deep dive into attachment styles. I hope it's given you some clarity or at least a fresh perspective on those tricky relationship patterns we all stumble into sometimes. If you found this helpful or eye-opening, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We've got plenty more to explore together. Your support keeps this channel going, and I'm so grateful for every one of you who takes the time to watch. Before you go, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Have you dealt with an avoidant partner? Or maybe you're recognizing some anxious tendencies in yourself? Share your thoughts, your stories. I read every single one, and it's your input that makes this a conversation. not just a monologue. Let's keep the vibe going. Subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for being here. You're the best.